A driver diagram helps to translate the work from the fishbone diagram into a clearly articulated improvement goal or aim. A driver diagram is used in continuous improvement projects to clarify a specific aim and support the selection of specific actions or changes to be tried and tested to achieve the overall aim. The diagram starts with the overall aim statement and then identifies a set of smaller, more tangible goals in the form of primary and secondary drivers, and then the specific activities to test, which are the change practices. Let's look at the driver diagram developed by the team in our Grove Elementary case example. First, we'll start with the aim statement, which is a specific and measurable goal. If the problem the teachers in the Grove Elementary case identified is that students are below proficient in math, especially low-income students, then the aim of the project may be to increase the percentage of students performing at proficient by 10% and to decrease the gap between low-income students and their peers. Next, the team identified primary drivers. Each primary driver represents the team's hypothesis regarding what might directly lead to achieving the aim. There are often several primary drivers, which are usually derived from the factors of the fishbone diagram. The team identified increasing student engagement in math class and improving teachers' knowledge and use of best practices in math instruction as primary drivers. Both of these drivers were related to factors in their fishbone diagram. Then the team identified secondary drivers, which are derived from the primary drivers and are more specific leverage points that the team suspects will impact the primary drivers. Secondary drivers are helpful to incorporate when primary drivers are not specific enough to lead to change practices. In the case example, a secondary driver to increase student engagement in math class is increasing students' use of math discourse. Similar to the primary drivers, the secondary drivers are at least in part derived from the fishbone diagram. Here, the team identified the secondary driver, increased student use of math discourse. This driver relates to a cause the team identified in the fishbone diagram, namely that students lacked language and listening skills. Finally, change practices are derived from the primary or secondary drivers. Change practices are specific and measurable processes, practices, or interventions that are predicted to impact the secondary and/or primary drivers. They are what will be tested through continuous improvement. In order to increase use of math discourse, the team will have teachers introduce and prompt students to use sentence starters to promote math discourse. This is a specific, concrete activity that is expected to help realize the drivers and, in turn, the overall aim of the effort. Here are a few things to remember about driver diagrams. As you move across the diagram, you get more focused on actions to be taken. Driver diagrams are living documents that will change over time as participants see changes and adopt, adapt, or abandon certain change practices. When developing a driver diagram, remember to move from left to right. Start with the aim, then move to the primary and secondary drivers, and finally to the change practices. Now it's your turn to develop your own driver diagram.